Hello, it's Brennan from Tech Buzz Ireland. Today we have the Plantronics Voyager 3240, which is your earpiece there at the moment with nice cancelling smartphone controls, car charging case included. And just to give you an idea, the Plantronics, most people in a call centre environment, office environment, receptionists will be very used to, familiar with the name of the Plantronics. It's been a brand that's been around for a while. It's seen as quality. Most companies, IT departments, telecommunications would be very familiar with their use. This one is slightly different. It's probably more geared towards the end user rather than the receptionist in an office. If you're going to connect multiple devices, we'll go through that in a few moments. So noise cancelling technology, obviously noise cancelling, keep out the noise in the background. Up to 16 hours talk time, fully charged, up to 7 days standby, up to 90 meters range, 9 grams in weight, which is actually quite light. And it contains Bluetooth headset, charging case, battery, micro USB cable, and 3 ear tips, small, medium and large. As a general rule, I normally use the medium. On this occasion I've had to use the large, and it's got your clip as well and uses instructions and all of the specifications there at the moment. One thing about it does is the noise cancelling. In the unit itself, comes with nicely with an instruction guide, which is probably fairly good. Within the instruction guide, it gives you clear what's actually happening, which is a Bluetooth pair, near field communications, call option, play pause, there's a mute option there, there's a headset indicator light, voice controls for Siri, mute and the power. So all the buttons are actually clearly defined, which gives you an idea, and they're relatively, the on off button on the side there can switch it on and off quite easily, and all the other buttons. So you've got a lot of different options. What you won't see there is there's an awful lot of voice controls. So as soon as you switch it on, the voice control takes over, tells you what's happening, what's going on. Pairing it itself gives you a bit of idea, and obviously comes with the charging case on this particular unit. It also comes with a USB cable, standard USB cable, which is a bit of a waste because the USB cable, micro USB, if it come with the C, it would have been far happier. And the usual manual guide, instructions, and more information in a variety of different languages, which I suspect practically nobody will read, but it's probably some regulation thing that has to be put in. This is actually what you're really interested in, the headset itself. Comes with your charger, USB there you can plug in. Alternatively, you can actually plug directly into it, so you don't need the case itself. You can plug it in, and that plugs in, clips in there, and you can see the lights, you can see the status. One status is obviously of the charger carry case, and one is off the earpiece itself, and that earwig just pops off and put it back on. And just a bit more details onto those clips themselves. USB charger and there. Buttons are actually quite good, up and down, switching off and on, and there's also another connection there for the Alexa Siri. So just getting a quick overview. Size wise, compared to your typical big pen, just gives you a bit of a range, the size of it. One thing on the case, which is actually quite annoying, nice case, it actually works, but it's an outer case which gives no protection to the unit itself. Well, limited protection. When you compare that to the 5100, same from Plantronics as well, lovely case, puts it in there, gives you your LEDs, but you close it, put it in your pocket thing. This has a clip here, not sure if it's a belt clip or whatever, so you could put your belt, but I'm not sure would I like the idea of this walking around. It would probably fall around. Sitting in an office, no problem whatsoever, but once you go out and about, good is the charger, but the design of it I think should be a lot more. Charging lead in the bottom, so typically you'd put it there on a table, water ingress straight into the bottom of it there. A couple of little things I don't particularly like from that perspective there. Call quality is a different story. It also comes when you're setting it up there. There's a couple of different options to setting it up, but once you've set it up to your Bluetooth, you can connect it via your app. Now the app itself has got, on for example, the 5100, it's got the Blackbeat app. This particular one has a different app completely. So it's more like an industrial app. So one thing to note is actually the off ear. I'll just take a second for it because I switched it on. Just make sure it's switched on. It tells you the hour, it tells you the details. You can find my headset, you go into settings, you go into all the different options, ignore call, answer calls, mute calls, ring volume, headset sensors. So all these are actually sensors. I like the reset option on the real bottom. That allows me to give me more options, firmware upgrade. And I can go into more information, so I want support, etc. there. And there's a couple of other features in here which are quite good. Obviously to find my setting and the buttons and the lights. So it's got the information which I've just showed you here. So if you do happen to lose the user's guide, you can actually go through it directly, and it tells you, there are symbols, it tells you clearly what each of the buttons are. And we'll just go back here at the moment. So I'll just pick the unit up, and it's on ear. You might notice the off ear, on ear coming through as I'm putting it up and down. So it's on ear at the moment, so if I'm on a call, I can quite clearly there at the moment. If, for example, I decide, I want to do something else, I just take it off and I drop it on the table, it's off ear. Or if I have it sitting there and my phone rings, automatically I just pick it up and go straight to it. And it goes back on it. That is one of my favourite things. Coming through is very handy. The other part about it is the technology is actually used on this. It's actually got technology to allow you to track a multi-mode connection, which allows you to connect 3 or 4 devices. So for me, if you're carrying 2 phones, etc., very important to actually be able to turn around and say you can connect all these together. So when the phone rings, for example, I can answer it on this phone, on another phone, or my laptop, and that's something quite regularly I will do. Just gives me the option of, many times I've had to carry 2 different earphones to make this connection there. Regarding call quality, one test I normally do to actually test it is I call somebody I know, and I stand away from the radio at a set volume. I then walk closer to the radio and just to ask them, how do they hear the call quality? With the noise detecting content, they can still hear the radio when I'm quite close, but it's very, very limited. So it will block out some noise, and it's far, far superior than most others. In saying that, it blocks out the frequencies because it picks up your voice. If I was to compare these two, same brand, this particular one would have a far better frequencies for audio, orchestral music to highs and lows. This would be basically for your audio. Call quality far superior in this. This is designed knocking out only the frequencies itself that you actually want, which is very good. So once you put it in there, you make a call, you receive a call. There's a load of other features that you can actually use itself. As I said, the one thing I found was I had to change this particular tip to make it fit in the ear. And once it's in, you're not going to use it to the gym because it will fall out. Doing high aggressive exercise, but for your normal use, walking around an office, in a car, driving, etc., it is comfortable fit, and it's actually quite lightweight as well. It looks actually heavier than it is. Build quality, quite good, can't fault it, and expect it from the brand. Overall, I can't fault it. It's a lovely unit, and what's good is, because it's only one earpiece, I've seen many people in an office environment where they're shouting. They don't realise having 2 noise cancelling earphones on, everybody else can hear them. It is something to pick up that you get used to. With one, you only get them. So you're kind of alert to when you're on a call, what's actually happening in the surroundings for yourself. That is a real positive for me. So you're aware of your surroundings. You're kind of going. Connection to 2 phones and a laptop or etc. Very, very good. It's a real positive from my perspective there. Charging case, bit of a niggle for me. USB things, the design of it, that's just a personal niggle on that. Not the end of the world. Overall, comfortable, call quality, build excellent, very, very good. Well worth something to you. And if you're going to be using it something for a good while, making lots of calls, so focusing on calls with a couple of phones, a couple of different ways of doing it, definite, guaranteed to work for that. Thank you very much from Tech Buzz Ireland.